Battles continue to tear across the countryside as the Union and Confederate forces batter each other.
It is a cold winter morning. The sun is barely peeking over the horizon. I run to grab the post as quickly as I could. After I got the mail and returned inside, I skim through the letters. One in particular catches my eye. I hastily tear it open and read its content. Federal law requires all male citizens above the age of 18 to register with the selective system. As of this date, Selective Service has not received a reply to our previous correspondence advising you of this legal requirement. Due to war orders, you've been drafted to the Union Army. You have 3 days to get ready and report to the nearest Union Army base. Since it's my duty to protect my country, I'll try my best. Besides, it's not going to take long anyways. I'll be home right after those rebels admit defeat.
Larry is sitting at a window seat, taking in the overwhelming scenes of families crying. A young man in his 20s walks up to Larry and takes the seat beside him.
May I sit here?
Yes.
I'm James Freeman. Nice to meet you.
My name is Larry Higgins. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Did you volunteer to join?
No, I got drafted. You?
I volunteered. My father left last year. I'm going to find him for my little sister.
I have a little sister, but instead of finding someone for her, I'm leaving her, and I'm going to survive for her.
Larry found out that talking to James made time fly faster. Soon, the train stopped, and they're at the Union base. Larry and James were assigned the same squad, and on the evening of February 5th, General Grant told them that they'll be with the squad on the high ground of the Kentucky side, which would ensure the fort's fall. They spent the night restless, and morning came way too quickly.
Are you just as nervous as I am?
Terrified.
Get out, soldiers! It's time!
Come on, let's go. I stood there behind all those soldiers, frozen in fear, realizing this isn't another walk in the park. This is a battle where a father or brother could never come back to meet their families again. I was stunned, and vaguely recalled James standing beside me, just as shocked.
Get it together, men. Your brothers need you.
Come on, let's go.
As James and Larry are invading the enemy's fort, something caught James' eye.
What is this?
I think that's gunpowder. We should roll it away.
There's so many of them and there's only 2 of us.
What should we do?
Look, there's water. Just pour it onto them. That should ruin them.
After Fort Henry surrendered to the Union Army, it opened the Tennessee River for Union shipping as far as Alabama. 10 days later, Fort Donelson also surrendered after troops from Fort Henry had been seen heading over there.
James and Larry, the President has summoned you to the White House.
What for, sir?
Just report to the White House on February 20th. President Lincoln will tell you guys personally.
On February 20th, Larry and James are in front of the White House.
How do we get in the President's house? Is there a bell?
I don't know. Knock.
Before Larry could knock, the door was opened by an officer.
Name, squad, purpose?
Larry Higgins, District of Cairo, reporting to the President, sir.
James Freeman, sir. District of Cairo, also reporting to the President.
This way. I will show you to your rooms. I'm afraid that there will be a delay. You're going to have to meet the President tomorrow.
Good morning, sirs. I have brought you breakfast. You guys will be meeting the President within an hour.
Thank you, my lady. Would you happen to know the cause of the delay?
I'm afraid I can't tell you, sir.
It's okay if you don't want to, but we would like to know.
Okay, I'll tell you. Lately, President Lincoln's son, William, has been feeling very ill, and he just passed away last night. Promise you won't tell?
Okay, you can take your leave now.
James walked to where Larry was reading his book and told him the secret that he was supposed to keep. Larry is shocked, but not surprised because he had heard rumors. They then proceeded to prepare for the meeting.
I apologize, gentlemen, for the delay. I have called you here for an important mission regarding the activities of the Southern troops. In other words, I want you two to infiltrate the Confederates and report their plans to General Grant.
Yes, sir.
But why us, sir? General Grant saw you guys sneaking into the fort and pouring water onto the enemy's gunpowder undetected and thought that you'd be perfect for this mission. Now, no protest, gentlemen. This is now your duty.
Between the days that they had been given their assignment and March 8th, James and Larry enlisted to the Confederate Army and were able to successfully infiltrate enemy headquarters.
The Confederates are sending 4 battleships to the blockade sometime today.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
The Battle of the Ironclads, also known as the Battle of Hampton Roads, was likely the most important naval battle of the American Civil War. On March 8th and 9th, 1862, Confederate forces attempted to break a powerful Union naval blockade that had isolated Norfolk and Richmond from international trade by deploying their ironclad warships, the CSS Virginia, which was originally the USS Merrimack. This battle ended inconclusive.
Where will you be?
After the battle starts, I'll hide on the sidelines and report using the telegraph.
Don't get caught.
Even if I do, I won't reveal anything.
Meet you later.
In March of 1862, General McClellan's Army of the Potomac advanced from Washington down the Potomac River and Chesapeake Bay to the peninsula south of Richmond, Virginia. Then begins an advance towards Richmond. McClellan planned to capture Richmond by overwhelming the forces protecting the capital. This strategy succeeded until Robert E. Lee took command of the defending forces and defeated the Union. It has been a little over a month since Larry and James have joined the Confederates, and they had successfully completed numerous missions as both Confederate soldiers and as Union spies. Now it is April 6th, and they are in Shiloh, Tennessee.
Soldiers, suit up. It's time.
James,
What?
what is it time for? Why are we suiting up?
What do you mean? What? It's the ambush they had planned for General Grant. We were told last night, remember?
I was making the report last night. I didn't report this.
Hurry!
Gentlemen, what's your hold up?
Nothing, General Johnson.
Then let's go, gentlemen.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
While Larry and James tried to find an opening to contact Grant, they couldn't. General Johnston kept a watchful eye on them. The Union were completely taken off guard that day. By the time evening came, the Union barely kept its stand at the Hornet's Nest. The South couldn't get past them for a while, but with massed artillery, they captured, killed, and wounded many Union soldiers. The battle raged on through the night, during which Major General Don Carlos Buell arrived with reinforcements for the North. The next day, the tide turned, and the Union now had the upper hand. The battle ended that day with a Union victory. 13,000 Union soldiers and 11,000 Confederate soldiers were dead. General Joseph Johnston was mortally wounded, and his second-in-command, General P.G.T. Beauregard, took over.
What do you think would have happened if I had been able to warn them that day?
Higgins, we've gone over this before.
Do you think more lives could have been saved?
It's been nearly a month since then, Larry. It's in the past. We will never know. It's not something you should focus on.
Then what should I focus on?
We have orders from the other side.
Is it a mission?
We need to delay the Confederates heading for New Orleans.
How do we do that?
We wing it.
Great plan we've got. Now let's go, Freeman.
3, 2, 1, now.
The horses are loose. The supplies are falling down the hill.
We've done our job. That should delay them for at least 2 hours. Now it's up to Officer Farragut to get through the rebel ships there.
That shouldn't be a problem. There are 17 ships heading up the Mississippi after all.
Going through a southern minefield during this expedition, David Farragut speaks the famous phrase, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." The Union got through the river and demanded the surrender of the New Orleans on April 25, 1862. They surrendered on the 28th. May 1st, the Union began to occupy the city. Being a major city of the South, this dealt a huge blow to the Confederacy.
General Grant, a week ago James and I were sent to Richmond. We will be fighting Union troops this time. Larry Higgins.
Higgins, carry on with the mission. In the midst of battle, wear your cap backwards and hope that the men recognize you. Freeman and you will sabotage Southern weaponry as well. USG. What's our mission this time?
To wear our caps backwards, try not to get killed by our own comrades, and to wreck some rebel weapons.
Sounds fun.
It's our duty. Let's go. Quick, Freeman, this way.
Is the equipment here?
Yeah, let's start with the gunpowder. You have water?
I'm tired.
We all are, but we're successful, so that's what matters.
Yeah.
Good morning, men. From June 1st and on, I will now be in charge. Also, I am renaming this army to the Army of Northern Virginia. My name is Robert E. Lee. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, gentlemen.
Higgins, the general wants you in his office.
What for?
I don't know, but he requested your presence immediately.
I'm coming. Thank you for coming here, Higgins. I have called you here to give you a special position, to be a personal soldier for me. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid I'll have to decline your generous invitation. I have a friend I must stay with if I can. I'm afraid you're misunderstanding, Higgins. This is not an invitation. It is an order. I'm sorry, General Lee. I'm very grateful for your offer. When will this position begin? As of tomorrow morning. Be prepared. You will meet me before I go to the other soldiers. You are now dismissed. Yes, sir.
During a battle, a fire had started and James had breathed in too many fumes. Now he has lost his voice.
General Grant, on June 25th, Lee plans on attacking your army near Richmond to stop your campaign. Larry Higgins.
Was there a reply?
They said they'd be cautious, but the president said to avoid action.
Yeah, let's do our best. Get some sleep. We're attacking tomorrow. Good night.
Night.
The Battle of 7 Days dragged on and went through many towns and battlefields. Even though it resulted in heavy casualties for both sides, the South couldn't lose, so they pushed the North back to Washington. The South won in the end because of the North's lack of action.
It is September of 1862. I am not sure about the day. They all blur together in my memory, sometime after the 23rd. It has been 7 months since James and I have joined the Confederate Army. We have been through numerous battles, which I shall now state from my own memory. On July 11th, General Henry W. Halleck became General-in-Chief. On August 29th and 30th, 75,000 Union soldiers under General John Pope are defeated by 55,000 Confederates under General Stonewall Jackson and General James Longstreet at the Second Battle of Bull Run in Northern Virginia. General Pope was then relieved of his duty. On September 4th through the 9th, General Lee invaded Maryland. The general expected the 14,000 Union soldiers to withdraw from Harper's Ferry and Martinsburg. Lee wanted to weaken the North, and the South needed the Shenandoah Valley for their line of supplies and communications. 23,000 men would march on Harper's Ferry, surround the place, and capture or destroy the Union garrison there. This tactic proved effective and reduced Harper's Ferry to a near worthless town. On September 17th, Thomas Jackson was sent to capture Harper's Ferry, as it was vital for the South to capture so that they had a clear route to the South. McClellan attacked the left and right flanks of the Confederate Army. Over 26,000 died, and it resulted in Robert E. Lee fleeing. The last event, only a few days ago, was on September 22nd. The temporary Confederate withdrawal gave President Lincoln time to issue the preliminary Emancipation Proclamation. It stated that if all rebels did not stop fighting by January 1st, 1863, and rejoin the Union, all slaves would be freed. Now that is the current event of things. I feel as if this war will never end. Freeman, the general is calling me. Catch up to me later. That is the plan for today. You have an hour before we leave. Be prepared. Dismissed. Yes, sir. Where's the telegraph? Oh, here it is. Higgins, are you in here? There you are. What's wrong? Nothing, sir. What are you doing? Just packing up my stuff, sir. Is that so? Yes, sir. We are leaving in 5. Be out there when we do. Yes, sir. With food shortages everywhere, families are struggling. Parents can barely stay sane. That's why we have Bob's Smoking Cigars for your enjoyment. It relaxes the nerves in times like these. Sugar can run out and flour can run out. But if you use it wisely, this cigar could last for a month. So get one today at your local general store.
Smokes for soldiers, it's Bob's Tobacco.
General Grant, I fear something has happened to James Freeman. We had seen very little of each other after Antietam, so I did not notice that he was missing until this morning. I had asked around, but no one had seen him for multiple days. I fear he may be injured or dead somewhere. Larry Higgins. Higgins, the general's with the Union captives, and asks for your presence. Coming. You wanted me, sir? Yes, actually. I have a task for you. Follow me. Freeman, what happened? He was found sabotaging supplies in the midst of battle. We did further investigation and discovered that he was a Union spy. Now, would you know anything about this, Higgins? If I recall, you two were quite friendly. No, sir. I had no idea. Well, as he was a spy, we assumed he was the one who had been wrecking materials from the start. We captured him and put him in here to be punished for his crimes. We also tried to persuade him to reveal some information. Unfortunately, he didn't speak. We now have no use for him, and that is where you come in, Higgins. Sir? We want you to execute him. As I said earlier, you two were quite close. We have many reasons to believe you are a spy also. Kill Freeman and you are clear of the charges. Simple as that. I will give you an hour to think this over. Let's go. General Grant, James has been discovered as a spy. He will be killed by me within the hour. I refuse to do this. I will free him and we will return to the Union. Larry Higgins. James, are you alright? Let me untie you.
That gag smells disgusting. I was beat up pretty bad. These guys are brutal.
Can you walk? Here, I'll help. We need to go quick. The guard is still around. I snuck in while he was circling the tent.
Okay, I'm ready. Catch me up on what happened while I was out in a bit.
To start, today is December 13th. I'm not sure if you heard about a month ago, President Lincoln replaced General McClellan with General Ambrose E. Burnside as the new commander of the Army of the Potomac.
Yeah, I was there.
Are you okay? Should we stop?
No, keep going. We need to get out further. Continue.
Well, that is about it. Nothing big has happened that I've heard of. I think we should be safe now. We're near Prospect Hill. It is under Union control.
Good. Put your hands up, you rebels, or I'll shoot.
Don't shoot. We're Union.
Sorry, you'll have to come along for verification.
I understand, but could you give him first aid now? He's injured. He was tortured by the rebels. Isn't that proof enough?
Fine, come along.
How do you feel now, Higgins?
Better than earlier.
At least we're alive. You can probably go home due to your injuries, too.
Yeah, it's been forever. Well, it feels like...
What's that?
They must be attacking. Let's go help.
Stay and rest.
I have my arms and legs. I'm fine.
Fine. Be careful. It's coming from over there. Let's go.
Coming.
Stop. Fire from here.
It feels good to be back on this side.
It's been too long.
That's right.
What's wrong?
Bullet.
Where?
Chest. There's too much bleeding. This is the end.
What do you mean? We have to go home. We have families waiting for us.
Goodbye.
That was the last time James Freeman spoke. Alongside his death, there were many more, too many for me to recall. The battle ended with a Confederate victory. My leg was blown off afterwards, and now I am returning home. I feel like part of my humanity is gone. I wish for this war to end.
Even with battles everywhere and people dying continuously, everybody and their actions has a story behind it. This is the Civil War.